And I'm Dave.
Welcome to the Table Junior Edition. Today we will be talking about Gary Gouda from Haba Games.
Thanks, Kaylee. So Gary Gouda comes in this big, huge, giant box. And this is a memory-based cheese hunting game for 2 to 4 players. And we are going to be taking on the role of Gary, scampering around the apartment in search of cheese. Now, when he finds cheese, he's going to stop and eat it. Problem is, the more cheese that he eats, the fatter he's going to get, and that could cause a problem for him in fitting through these different holes and trying to get to where he needs to go. In the meantime, we've got Kiki the cat lurking around the apartment, blocking off different spots for him to go. What we're going to do is we're going to show you how the game is played by doing an actual playthrough, and then we're going to come back and we will give you our thoughts. Alright, here we have Gary Gouda, and we're going to talk about the components, the object of the game, and then we're going to go into how it's played. Starting off with the components, we have the game board, which is the box itself, makes up this 3-dimensional apartment with all these different rooms. And if you notice, there's 4 different rooms that have different colors, green, yellow, blue, and red, that are going to be the starting and ending locations that are going to be determined by a wooden die rod that has different colors on there. And we'll be rolling that during the gameplay. Now, over the course of the game, our friend Gary, who's the hero of this game, Gary the Mouse, and he has a hole on the bottom of him, is going to be traveling around this apartment, gathering up pieces of cheese and eating them. As he's eating the cheese, Gary's going to get fatter and fatter, and he's got to reach his destination before he gets stuck in order to claim the cheeses. Now, while he's doing that, he has to deal with his nemesis, Kiki the cat, who is placed into the apartment and blocking one of the pathways so that Gary can't go through. Whoever at the end of the game has the most claimed pieces of cheese is the winner, and let's go into how the game is played. So at the start of the game, there are dividers that are going to be included with the game. There are orange ones and purple ones, and they are going to be randomly placed into the various rooms of the apartment. Now, the purple ones are going to be placed here where the starting locations are. And they will fit right inside this little slot, just like this, and you drop them down till they go all the way in. And the rest of the rooms will all have orange ones. So looking at the board itself, all of the holes look the same. However, some have a wider opening than others. And so we need to remember which spaces are what size so that Gary can get the most cheese. We already have Kiki placed in the apartment. And the next thing that we're going to do is place 4 pieces of cheese into the apartment to start off the game. Now, on the bottom of these pieces of cheese are different symbols. For example, here, this is a walnut, and they correspond to the different rooms that are in the apartment. So, Kaylee, go ahead and put the 4 pieces of cheese into the apartment.
We have like an Oreo, a cookie maybe.
Okay.
Maybe like a towel or a book or something.
Okay, it looks like a book.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like a wooden block.
And another wooden block.
Okay. So if there happens to be 2 that come in there, they will stack right on top of each other. Next, we're going to roll the wooden die rod to determine where Gary is going to start. So go ahead and roll that. So he's going to start off in the blue space. So we're going to put Gary in the blue, and we're going to roll it again to determine where he needs to end up at. And it looks like Gary has to end up in the green space. So the way that this is going to work is we are going to push Gary through these different openings, and we can stop off and pick up pieces of cheese, and we stack them underneath them, and Gary's going to get fatter and fatter. He can continue to move around the apartment, gathering up as much cheese as he wants to try to in an attempt to reach this destination. However, if Gary gets stuck, the turn will be over. But if Gary makes it to the end, he'll score the pieces of cheese. So go ahead and let's track how Gary goes through the apartment. So it looks like Gary's going to go here. Now Gary can choose to pick up the cheese or not. He can, if he wants to pick up the cheese, he can. Let's see what he's going to do. So it looks like Gary's going to go again. Will Gary press his luck and grab another piece of cheese? Oh, looks like Gary is not going to do that. He's pushing through. Going through there. And he reached his destination. If Gary successfully reaches the destination, any cheese that he has claimed will go in front of that player and be scored. Next, what's going to happen is the player will then get a chance to move Kiki to another room during the game. So you can go ahead and move Kiki. Okay, so we move Kiki. Now, at the start of my turn, what I need to do is I need to draw and place new cheese tiles in here to make sure that there are 4 tiles at the start of my turn. So I'm going to grab this one here. This is a pencil, and the pencil room is right here. And next, I will roll the wooden die rod to see where I'm going to start off. Gary's going to start off in green, and Gary needs to go to yellow. So we're just going to push through here. I'm going to press my luck a little bit and go down and see if I can maybe get a piece of cheese. I know Kaylee likes to play this game a lot, and she's pretty good at it. And I'm going to push through this room here, and I'm going to go over this room here. I'm going to grab this one, and I'm going to see if we can maybe get... Now, Kiki is in this room. I can go past him, but Kiki is just standing here blocking this doorway. I can't go through. And so I'm going to go and push through this room, and we're going to try to go to the yellow. And Gary was successful at getting these 2 pieces of cheese. Going to move Kiki, blocking him over here. And now we'll place 2 new pieces of cheese. There's another pencil, and we have a carrot. So go ahead and roll for where Gary's going to go. Gary's going to start off in red, and where does Gary have to go? Gary has to go to yellow. So let's see what Gary's going to do here. We're going to pass along here. Gary's not going to go into the room with the 2 cheese. Let's see, where's Gary? You're just taking the easy way and just grabbing one at a time. She's going with the slow and steady wins the race thing. Okay, so you claim another piece of cheese. So go ahead and move Kiki. And you took 1 piece of cheese, so let's place another piece of cheese in the apartment.
A candy.
A candy, okay. We're going to roll to see where Gary's going to start. Gary's going to start in the blue, and Gary needs to go to yellow. All right, well, Gary's hungry this turn, and so I'm going to go into this room, and for sure, I'm going to grab these 2 pieces of cheese. Now I have a decision to make. Part of this thing is I recall that with 2 pieces of cheese, I was able to make it through this hole here and this hole here to get to yellow. So I know that those paths are safe. Kiki was blocking this way here. I don't know if Gary's going to be able to fit, and I'm not sure if Gary's going to go fit this way. I'm not 100% sure. But we're going to try to push through this hole here. And what happened now is Gary got stuck. Gary's not going to be able to fit through this opening. So what happens is my turn is over, and these 2 pieces of cheese are removed from the game. I can move the cat now. I can move Kiki to another room location, and I think I'm going to move Kiki over here. And then it will be Kaylee's turn, and we have to place 2 new pieces of cheese into the game board to make sure that we have 4.
An Oreo.
Okay.
And a walnut.
Okay. So go ahead and roll for Gary's location. He's going to start off in the yellow, and where does he have to end up at? He's got to end up in the blue. So Gary's going to pick up a piece of cheese. Let's see if Gary's going to pick up another piece of cheese. Let's see how hungry Gary is, if Gary's going to go for a 3rd piece of cheese or not. Uh-oh. So Gary got stuck down here. So what happens is those two pieces of cheese are removed from the game. And you get to move the cat. Okay. So a couple things to remember now over the course of the game we are building our memory is this one right here and this one right here, Gary cannot fit through with two pieces of cheese. So as we're playing through the game, we're starting to know what this apartment is about, and we're trying to have to remember which rooms Gary can fit through so we can get all the cheese. So we'll place two more tiles out here. So we have a coin, which is going to go here, and we have a pacifier, which is going to go up here. Gary's going to start off in the red, and Gary needs to go to the red. Okay, so we remember this one here, he's not going to fit through very easily. So we'll go through this way, and I'm going to pick up this piece of cheese here. And I'm going to go through this way here, through this apartment. And let's see if Gary can fit through this one with one piece of cheese under him. He can. And we'll go through over here. And Gary's stuck again. So we're going to lose this piece of cheese here. So one thing that we can now figure out is that in this apartment here, this one he doesn't fit with two, this one he doesn't even fit with one. So this is a room that we're going to have to really be careful about. And so that's one of the things that to tuck back in your mind, and it depends with all the people that are playing have to watch that as well. So it's going to be back to your turn, and I'm going to move Kiki over to here. And we have to place one more piece of cheese in there.
A carrot.
Okay. So right now, I only have two pieces of cheese. Kaylee has two pieces of cheese, and there's 5 of them that are out of the game. So let's see where Gary's going. Gary's going to start at yellow. And where is he going to end up to?
Blue.
Alright, so let's watch Gary. Here he goes. Picking up a piece of cheese. And again, she's just going slow and steady, wins the race. Okay. So you get to move Kiki. Okay. Place a piece of cheese.
A buck.
Alright. I'm going to roll this. Gary's going to start off in blue and has to end up in green. Okay. So we're going to go here. We know that this is a room we want to avoid, so we're going to go through this way, this way, this way. Let's go around this way, avoiding Kiki, who's blocking this one, and let's pick up this piece of cheese here. And we're going to go through that way. Oh, yes. We're going to go through. Let's see if he can make it through. Oh, he can. And I'm going to try to pick up a third piece of cheese and see if we can make it. I just want to show the camera now. Look how thick Gary is with 3 pieces of cheese under him. Let's see if he can make it through this last doorway without getting stuck. And, oh, yes. So Gary managed to snag 3 pieces of cheese on that turn. So that was really, really good. Gary got, I think that put me ahead of you now for sure. So I'm gonna move Kiki. I'm gonna put Kiki over here because I know that that's a big wide opening that Kiki can go through, and I don't want Kaylee to beat me. Next thing now, I took 3 pieces of cheese. We have to put 3 more out on the game board. So go ahead and put 3 pieces of cheese out. Okay, we've got a little toy.
A teddy bear and another teddy bear.
Okay. So here we go. Go ahead and roll the die.
Yellow.
It's going to start off in yellow and
Green.
yellow to green. Okay, so let's see. Kaylee has a challenge now to try and pick up some pieces of cheese to try to catch up to me because I have 5 and she only has 3. Now, there's a room that she's going to go through there, and he gets stuck there even with 1. He can't even fit through there. Okay, so Gary did not get the piece of cheese, and I thought that she would have seen that before we talked about this room, but she didn't see it. So it's going to still be a harder challenge for you. So you can move Kiki gonna put Kiki there. Okay, and let's place another piece of cheese in the apartment. We have looks like some paint. Okay, let's roll a die and see where Gary needs to go to. Gary's gonna start off in blue, and Gary needs to go to the yellow. All right, let's see. So we're gonna push Gary through this way. I'll take the scenic route around. We know certain things are good. Place this one here. And I'm going to go through this room. Let me make sure I can put the piece of cheese under him properly. See if he fits through there. He's going to fit through here. I'm going to choose to pass by this one here and see if maybe Gary can scoot all the way across this room here and grab this one. Yay. Next thing we're going to do is move Kiki the cat. And Kiki doesn't like you, so he's going to go over there. I'm going to place a piece of cheese on the game board. What do we have?
Yes.
Another pacifier. Okay. Roll a die. Let's see where he's going to end up with. He's going to start off in red, and where does he have to go to?
Green.
Green. All right. So here goes Gary. Now you have to remember which ones had the bigger openings so that you can go and grab more cheese. There you go. Now if she was paying attention, she'll remember that she can go, and there you go. See, she remembered now that this was a bigger opening over here, and she was able to grab 2 pieces of cheese. So as you can see, this is how the game is going to play. Each player is going to go around and try to grab cheese in the apartment without getting stuck. And the game is going to go on until there is not enough cheese to be put out to have 4 pieces on the game board itself. So like here we have a piece of money, and we have another toy. And at the end of the game, whoever has the most pieces of cheese is the winner, and that's Gary Gouda. Okay, so there you saw our playthrough of Gary Gouda. What'd you think?
It was really fun.
Okay, and what'd you like about the game?
When I get to move Gary and collect cheese.
Okay, and then what else do you like about the game?
When other people make Gary get stuck.
Yeah, she likes to see when other people get stuck, not when herself does. But a few times Gary did get stuck, and as you saw, what happens is the pool of cheese tiles gets depleted. Who ended up winning the game?
You.
Yeah, I did win, but did you have fun anyways?
Mm-hmm.
So the game is still a lot of fun, even if you don't win. And the reason that I did was I actually got lucky, and I found a couple of spaces where Gary could get away with a big haul of cheese in his little heist that he was pulling off there. I think on one turn I pulled off 2 tiles, and I had another one I got 3 pieces of cheese. So I found one of the larger openings, so that was pretty huge. Let's talk about the quality of construction in this game, because we've got the game is contained right in the box itself, which is great. All you gotta do is take off the lid, you're ready to go. We've got really cool, like these vinyl flexible inserts that go in, and they fit in really, really easy. And we've got just good quality pieces, and so let's talk about those. Let's talk about the wooden pieces.
They have really neat artwork.
Yep. Who do you like better? Do you like the artwork on Gary, or do you like the artwork on Kiki?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, Kiki is painted on both sides, which is really, really nice, and so has this nice presence of when you're playing through the game. If he's standing in front of the hole, you see just his little face there. On the back side, you see like his tail and everything else. And Gary's got this nice little smirk on his face, and he's got a nice rope tail. So we've got these nice, like, earthy components that just feel good when you're playing them. It's always good to have wooden pieces. It just makes the game feel a lot richer, wouldn't you think? Now, another thing about the manufacturing, even the cheese tiles that Gary goes around and picks them up, they are cut to the same size as him. So everything is all smooth all the way around. Even though Gary is going to grow taller, the same oval shape is going to be maintained throughout that. So really, really good in terms of manufacturing. Now let's talk about the gameplay, because that's important. This is a memory-based game. So what's really important about this game?
That you remember where places are.
Yep. And so you can use that to your advantage, because what can you do?
You could go through bigger spots with more cheese and you could win.
Yeah, and what else can you do with those bigger spots?
you could lock them with
Yeah.
Kiki.
Yeah, so if you're smart, you're going to do that. So what you're going to do is you have to remember where the smaller holes are, where you get stuck, and so you can learn to avoid them. And I think that I pointed that out during the playthrough. There was one room that it was just bad news. We could not get through there at all. And then there was a couple of times where we knew that there was maybe a larger space, and well, what do? You put Kiki there so that your opponent can't get through there. So there's some strategy to this game, even though it's something that ages 4 to 99 can play. And so it's something that's going to be good for the whole entire family. And one of the benefits here, even from a family perspective, is the memory aspect. Okay, this is a cool way for you to develop memory skills and be able to recall information. Now, the game doesn't last that long. Game is maybe only about 15 to 20 minutes with 2 players, and it's not going to go much more than a half an hour playing with 4 players. And but it is going to give you a little bit of an exercise of watching what is going on and watching where Kiki's moving around. So it's gonna be fun. And one of the neat things is that if Gary gets stuck, those pieces are removed from the game, and so they don't keep going around, and the game doesn't keep going on until everybody has claimed them, and so that's good. Otherwise, the game could go on for quite a while. So I think that's a good thing that if Gary gets stuck, the pieces go out. Let's see what else. We're going to be developed. We've got the memory skills. We've got good quality construction, and this is something that everybody can enjoy, right? Those are all positive things for us. One of the other neat things that I like about Haba Games itself is that they have an initiative to unplug and connect. And so that goes along the lines of what I'm trying to do on my channel, is to get the whole family involved in the gaming hobby. And so one of the things that I've invested in doing is I have my niece and my nephews that live with us along with my kids, and we spend time playing games together. And so what Haba is doing is telling people, hey, disconnect from all the electronics and things that kind of keep us all separated or just occupied by ourselves, and come together and using a game like this to spend time as a family. And so I'm all about that, and so I love that too. And so that's one of the things that I certainly want to talk about, is one of their initiatives. And so that's another great thing. As always, the thing with Haba Games, your super quality products that they're putting out, great things for the family, super easy rules, and Gary Gouda is a lot of fun, does not disappoint, something that everybody should, if they're looking for a memory-based game, something that you should pick up. All right, and if you're interested in Gary Gouda, I'll have information in the video description below. You can go ahead and check that out as well. All right, and that's it for now, and we'll see you again next time with another junior edition, right, of To the Table. Bye-bye.